Hi guys, and happy Sunday. Today is Sunday, May 21st, and we're going to finish up today doing what we started yesterday. Yesterday I showed you some online exclusives, products, papers, different items. Today we're going to show you some examples I've made with these items, and we're going to create a card, maybe two, using what we showed you yesterday. So let's go ahead and get down to the stamping surface and we'll get started. Okay, that transaction took a little while. Sorry about that. So, if you remember yesterday, we showed you some of the online exclusive items. My Velcro dot came off. So this is the Oh Hello. I believe that's what it's called. Let me look here. Oh my goodness. This is how my morning's gone already. Yes, the Hello Irresistible. So we're going to show you a card using some of these fabulous designer series paper. We're going to show you some examples made with the Irresistible Blooms set and dies. And then we're going to also show you a card using the classic letters as a non-focal point. Kind of a focal point, but not really. All right. But what we're going to do is we are going to start with basic white, and we're going to use these radiating dies. I love these. Love, love, love these. Let me see. Do I want to start here or do I want to do... You know what? Maybe if you have the time, instead of starting with this, let's go ahead and create 4 cards using the radiating dies. So let me go ahead and grab a sheet of basic white off of my shelf over here. Oh, goodness. Sorry, I actually crinkled that. So here's a sheet of basic white. And we're just going to go ahead and score this into 4 quadrants. You've seen me do this before. This is that quick method where we build along the score lines to actually get 4 card bases. But what we're going to do a little differently today is we're going to start with colors. And we're going to build up the colors first and then stamp. Now, you may not think that these look like they go together, but they actually kind of do. I kind of stumbled across this. So we're going to use Calypso Coral, Old Olive, and Berry Burst. Now, some people will stamp first and then put down the color. I want to blend the color first and then go from there. So I'm going to have my green brush. I'm going to use this for the Berry Burst. And let me find my orange brush for the Calypso Coral. So what we're going to do is, and we're going to try to keep this in, I'm going to go dark to lightest, so hopefully we don't get it into a muddy brown, but we'll see. We'll see how it happens. So let's go ahead. I always forget to leave that open. We do want some dark color, but we don't want it as strong as it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off, and I'm going to just go right along that score line and add some of this color. And when you're coming straight from the lid, you don't really have to start off because you already kind of muted it mostly. You do see I do have some strong points there, so I want to, let's do this again. Come off here. Yes, and I will. I know this is probably driving some people crazy because they don't like me having a messy background. But deal with it for just today. I will change it out after today. So let's go ahead. I think we got a nice base there. All right. We'll put Berry Burst to the side for a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring out, I think I want to bring Old Olive out next. Just because I want to keep those 2 kind of similar cards. Not that Calypso Coral and Berry Burst are that much together, but they're kind of the same genre. So now, instead of going all the way around, I'm going to just focus on each quadrant at a time. Just adding a little bit of color there. So you know how the backs of the Hello Irresistible paper look kind of like that mottled or sky look? This is going to mimic that. All right. Let's go ahead and go over here a little bit too. All right, that one I got a little dark, but that'll be all right because once we stamp over the top of it, it'll look fine. All right. Put that over here also. Let me grab this for the Calypso Coral. And then we're just going to go really light and maybe use this to blend over that part there. You see, I'm not adding extra ink here. I'm just trying to smooth out those lines between those two. Let's go back down here now. Just putting the lightest of that color, just so you see that the white doesn't show through as much anymore. Now this is a good way if you don't have that Hello Irresistible DSP way to simulate it, kind of give a little nod to it without having to buy it. All right, so there we have that. Let's see. And I'm just kind of going to go over this. I have not re-inked it, just to smooth out some of those lines. All right, so now we're going to cut along those score lines, but we're going to use the radiating dies to actually be the star of the show. So let's go ahead and put that at that 4 1/4. And that 5 1/2. All right, so there's our pages, our backgrounds, but remember the radiating die is a little bit smaller than that. So you're going to sit around here however you like it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this middle one, because it's going to be a layer. So we might as well have a piece for the inside. You know what? We'll do one with it and then one where we don't cut out the inside. How about that? And just because I am using 2 dies at the same time, I am going to use my magnetic plate. Again, I'm sorry. I know you can't order it from Stampin' Up! Anymore. You probably can find it out there on some crafting website, you know, where someone's trying to sell theirs off. I won't sell mine. I have 2 of them. I won't sell them. I never had a problem with them, and I personally love them. So, sorry, I know. Every time I use it, I feel like I'm going to get some feedback about why are you using a product we can't buy, and I'm sorry. All right, so let's just go like this. We'll do this for one of them, and then we'll do just the frames for the other three. I just like being able to have that extra piece for sentiment. I should have angled it so I wouldn't have done that clunk, but I didn't. All right, that's even pretty. All right, so here is my radiating die. Look how pretty that is. And here's my little, and so you know what? I'm going to do two like this. I'm going to do two without. So let's go ahead and put in. You know what? No, I'm just going to do two. I'm going to leave the other two as is. So let's just go ahead and do that. I want to get a little more of that berry burst in there. I feel like I cut a lot of it off, so I'm going to bring this a little bit more to the edge. That way I get more of that berry burst because I don't feel like I get a lot of it. All right, I'm going to angle it this time so it doesn't clunk as much. All right. And I'm off camera. Sorry. Let me close this up quietly. Put it over here on my work area. Let's go ahead. Ah, so pretty. All right. So here's what we have to work with for right now. Let me go ahead and put these back on my magnetic plate. That way I don't lose any of them. All right, I'll put it up here on my little area. All right, so let's see now. Let's go ahead and let's grab that Irresistible Blooms. Let's go ahead and stamp with this right on there. Again, I'm going to be using the Berry Burst for the flower, and then I'm going to be using the Old Olive for the leaves. But I am going to do a quick mask of this. Here, I'm trying to figure out. Yep, fits. That small one did it. All right. I'm going to do a quick mask. For those of you who've never masked, what that is doing is that is taking an object and putting it to the forefront and then creating a mask so that it looks like there's objects behind it. So look how pretty that is. And all you're going to do, I need to go underneath my table here. All you're going to do is kind of do that near the top where that sticky is. Take your snips. I cut just a little bit under the edge, and I don't do, see how fast I'm going? I don't do it perfect. A lot of people take a lot of time for their masks. I do not take as much time. I'm sorry. I was off screen. I forget about that. I'm always afraid I'm going to be too close to the edge and get my belly in on the scene. No one wants to do that. All right. So there's my mask. I have a little bit of sticky here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up like that. And yes, you can see areas, but it's okay. There's a ghosting effect, which means that where you're meeting those two layers, it doesn't really stamp great. It leaves like a white edge around. So if you go in like that, it perfectly matches up. So now let's go ahead and put this down here. I feel like I need to do a second one almost. So I want to do a leaf. Let's grab the two leaf. And that's why I had the smaller one out for the two leaves. All right. I probably would do a second mask. I'm just going to try really hard to get close like that. Then move this over here. I didn't press down very good. Do you see that? I got one of my little leaves a little bit off there. There we go. And let me go a little bit up here. Nope, I'm just going to leave the leaf down there. I'm not going to do another one. All right, let's close up olive. Let's close up berry first. Put all these over to the side to clean. And let's get a word. We're going to use this. Can't be happier to have you as a friend. Oh, I'm getting low on my blocks. I must have a bunch out on the table somewhere. And to pull in that Calypso coral, I'm going to stamp in the Calypso coral. Okay, let's grab my tape. Let's get a base. Remember, this is actually a layer, so you can make a very quick card without having to have a lot of layers. I don't put it, even though those don't come through and you won't see the cardstock through, I don't put it over where the radiating stitches are. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. And pretty simple. And look, we could get the other two done really quickly. Of course, we have this, so we could always go ahead and do another one. Put a little bit of a layer around it and pop it up on another one. But let's go ahead, so we don't make the video so super long. We'll go ahead and leave this one in its simplistic form like that. You could add jewels if you wanted to. In fact, these would be so pretty. The iridescent pastel gems. These would be very pretty. Look at those. Grab my take your pick tool. Put one there. Put one there. Let's put a bigger one. Ooh, he's really stuck on there. Up there. Just for a little extra bling on that. All right. And then we had, remember these yesterday? We had these that we did with the 3 different embossing. So let's go ahead. I'm hoping I can cut all 3 of these at once. So now these are at 4, so they're already a layer. And I'm going to go, it was 5.5. See, this is a little bit shorter than that. So these actually, if you go 5.5, it's like 13. So I'm going to do these strips, I'm going to cut it at 4 centimeters. Hopefully, did it go through all of them? No. There we go. All right. And I think on that, what color do I put it on? Do I want to put it on? No, I don't like how that looks. Do I want to put it on? Oh, I do it like that. All right. So I'm going to put the circles in the very middle because, oh, I need to get a new blade. Look at that. Where's my snips? Let me just clean that up a little bit just by running that up along the edge. I'm not even cutting. Do you see that? Since they're so sharp, if you just go across, it will trim off those little scritchies. All right, I'm going to see if I can actually, sometimes you can't run the full tape runner because these fibers are already broken down. There's one piece there I still didn't get. probably why you shouldn't cut 3 at once. Go ahead and do that one a little bit in. We'll do this final one. Nice. Let's go ahead and put this on dimensionals. That about cleans off that one, doesn't it? Oh yeah, that one's pretty close to the top. Let me kind of smooch that in a little bit. All right, let's go across that. Again, let's, do I have, I'm trying to think what I have. These are last year's color, this year's colors. So let's go ahead and take my next favorite item, the flat backed iridescent pearls. Well, I guess it doesn't say iridescent, but they're flat back. Look at that, they're so pretty. So let's do a small one, a larger one, and another small one. Again, another very simplistic card, but something you can do very quickly. All right, let me get some of this extra white noise off of my desk area. I always end up losing those lids, so let me put that back on for now. All right, so here's the 2 we made just now. Pretty much in the span of less than 20 minutes, we made those 2 cards. And here's the other ones that I have made featuring these online exclusives. So there's that die I was telling you about. Look how pretty that is. Those are the greetings from the irresistible blooms. Here's this using that fabulous designer series paper, which we tried to mimic. That was the word I was looking for earlier. Mimic. So here's using the actual, and then here, let me go ahead and put this over here. And then here's this one right there. So pretty. And can I get them all on there? Let me see. Yes, there we go. Let me get this. Oh my gosh. I like puzzles, can you tell? All right, here we go. Now we can get them all on there. All right, so there you have, and let me go ahead and furnish the back of these flat so you can see them well. Didn't do that earlier. All right, so look at those. Here's the 2 we made right now. Here's the 3 I created yesterday using those dies. Here's the stamps. Now, and here's the secret. This, oh, my camera hasn't caught up. There it goes. This, as you can tell, is not Calypso Coral. This is that sweet sorbet. But when you put it on, it gives the same tone. So look how sweet sorbet can look with Calypso Coral. How much fun. All right, guys. Thanks for joining with me, sticking through it, through all my tongue ties. It's been a very busy morning already, and it's 6:15 here in the Chicagoland area. So give me a thumbs up, shoot me a comment, share this with your friends, and I hope to see you on Watch It Wednesday. And if not, I'll see you next weekend right here. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great Sunday.